Ladies and gentlemen, can we have your attention, please?
I'm Joe Stewart, who's the Secretary of the Colville Heritage Society, saying just a few words.
Good afternoon and welcome to Colville. Before Bob goes into his tour of the virtual tour of the factory from here and hopefully outside if the wind drops, I'd just like to say a few words about the next 18 months. The Colville Heritage Society, in partnership with North West Leicestershire District Council, Leicestershire Museums, the National Trust and one or two private sponsors, has been awarded a Heritage Lottery grant of up to, well, in total £87,000 to celebrate all things Palitoy in its centenary year. Alfred Pallet started the company in 1919, Castleoid, and Palitoy arrived in 1935. But because Palitoy is so synonymous with Colville, the Colville Heritage Society put this bid forward. And what we hope to achieve in the next 18 months are the following. Oral history reminiscence of the workforce. You collectors as well. We want to know why you collect these toys and people who played with them, so that we have an archive of the story of Palitoy. But also importantly, there is a massive collection of Leicester Mercury photographs related to Palitoy that have never been seen by anybody and have not been digitised. So the bid is going to digitise that collection as well, which will then be, and also the MACE, that's the Midland Archive, Media Archive for Central England, has all the television ads for Palitoy. They have not been digitised either, so you're not able to see them. So again, part of the bid is to digitise that collection so it can be seen by everybody around the world. All that will be delivered through a new website that we're going to develop as well. So over the next 18 months, keep your eyes on the many faces of Palitoy, a century of toys. Thank you for the advert. There is a leaflet outside if you want to pick it up, which goes into more detail.
Okay, guys. You're on the hallowed ground of Action Man and all things Palitoy here, as you know. I was chief designer at Palitoy, as you probably know. Worked on Action Man, and the company started in 1919 as Castleoid in Leicester. The first doll was designed in 1925. It's in the cabinet out here, and they made many dolls. It's a mainly doll company. But come 1960s, the company Castleoid wanted to sell off the toy brand, which was Palitoy, and they wanted some dolls, so they got Tressie from a company called American Character Doll Company in America. They got Tiny Tears from the same company, which you can see out here in the cabinet. But they wanted something for the boys. So where do they go? They went to Hasbro or Hassenfeld Brothers in the States and got Action Man, which we see around here. So shortly after that, the company was sold to a company called General Mills, as you know. And it went on. Bob Simpson, who was marketing manager before the sell-off, he became managing director. And out there you may have seen, we interviewed him on Thursday, and he told us all about how the company evolved and how he got Action Man, and we're hoping to do a little edited version of that for the next show in December, which you'll be able to see. So this was the site. Palitoy came here as a brand of toys, or brand of dolls. They were soft-bodied dolls, in a building across here, which is on Owen Street, which we'll go and see on a quick tour in a minute. That was in 1937, 2 years after the Palitoy brand name was registered. And of course that was just before the war. During the war, this site and that building over there became a factory for the war effort, where they were making gas masks, cockpit covers for aircraft, and a lot of those got out to the gardens around here as cloches. There was a bomb dropped on this site, virtually on this spot, which never went off. If it had gone off, Colville wouldn't have existed. It was that big. You can see, there is a photograph of that on Facebook somewhere. But after the war, because they had bought 3.5 acres of land, which is this land here, before the war, they built the factory, which is across here through those windows, which we'll come to later. They built the factory, everything went from there, it grew and grew and grew. The first buildings that you come to when you come up the drive were built in, they opened in 1966 or 67, around about that time. Because originally the offices were a couple of wooden buildings standing on that car park. There was a tennis court on this, where this building is. There was a rockery and all sorts. The factory was called the factory in the garden because it was landscaped really nicely. Of course, as they expanded, they started building more. This building was made with Star Wars money. And this was the sales office in this room here. Upstairs was the showroom and the managing director and the gods. But what we're going to do is walk out of here and a quick tour around because it's been cold and show you where all the different departments were and where the design department was. So if you want to follow me, Alan's got an auction because 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2016 was the 50th anniversary of Action Man. And as you know, we had quite a big sort of celebration in here when Art and Science came with their Action Man. At the time, we were promoting it and we came up with some posters to promote it. And this was one of them, which has been left over. And
Not a very big fridge, it would probably just about fit.
I signed it at the bottom.
But it'll come off, won't it, with a rubber?
Yeah, come off the rubber. But just to get some, this company that did this was called, what was it called, Stuart? Dina's company?
Or Colville Heroes.
Colville Heroes, and Action Man was a Colville hero. And they had this project called Colville Heroes where they had 50 soldiers, just like Action Man, full size, one for each of the 50 years. And they had them dotted around Colville, and that was one of the posters. And I signed it, and we thought we'd auction it off for some funds for the Colville Heroes. So if you fancy bidding for this, Alan's going to start us off.
Well, I'll give 20 quid for it. Is anyone going to better that? 25. 25?
Any more bids on 25 for the poster?
30. 30? Any advance on 30?
PayPal.
Hey, will do, yeah. Any advance on 30?
40.
40?
Oh, let's get up to 50. Who's got 50 quid? Who's going to sell? Who's going to sell a Scorpion tank? They go for 50 quid.
Some of them do. 45, anyone?
The camera's just arrived.
Oh, it's that man there then, isn't it?
Going once at 40. Going twice.
45.
45.
Ah, good old Dave.
What is it?
It's a
A
poster
life-size poster of the Royal Marine number 3.
signed by me.
Signed by Bob, so it's half the value of it. Any advance on 45? Going once at 45. Twice at 45. 50.
Oh, well done.
Any advance on 50?
Get more.
Any advance on 50? Going once. Going twice. Sold to the gentleman over there.